Did you know that the more people who know about you and your company and what you do, the more people who know about you, the less you have to spend on traditional marketing and advertising to generate customers. All right, guys, as always, I want to share a couple examples with you, and I'll dig into the lesson and how you can apply this to your contracting company. Good deal? All right, so first lesson is actually from Contractor Dynamics. Last week, we hosted the first webinar that we've hosted in a really long time, and we spent a lot of time to build out our process. We had 100 and something people register. We had over 50 people on the actual webinar that stuck around for 90 minutes. And one of the things that we did to promote the webinar is we ran social media ads. So ads on Facebook and Instagram, same thing that I encourage you to do for your business. And we were able to generate registrants, attendees for that webinar. Now, there's a certain industry kind of benchmark for how much it costs you in ads to get someone onto your webinar. And we looked at the data and we were about a third of that cost, which is really awesome. We blew our goal out of the water, all of our goals pretty much out of the water with this webinar. And now we're going to work to see if we can replicate that every month. We shall see. I'll keep you posted. However, our cost to acquire someone to get on our webinar was 1/3 of the industry average for webinars. And I attribute that to the strength of the brand that we have, because we've focused so much over the past decade on building our brand and getting people to know us and providing a lot of value and being kind of everywhere in our market. We didn't have to spend as much money to get people onto our webinar. And therefore, we don't spend as much money in terms of advertising to generate customers. Now, you might be saying, all right, Joe, that's cool. That's great for you. You're a marketing company. What does this have to do with me and my roofing company? We're vastly different. All right, fair enough. So on average, the roofing companies that we work with inside of our marketing training program spend about 4% of their revenue on marketing. Now, this might sound low. Maybe it sounds high if you've never done any marketing. However, if you were to go right now and Google how much, what percentage of revenue should I spend on marketing, you're going to see answers between 5 and 10 and 15%. A lot of those answers will say 5% if you're kind of like status quo, maintenance mode, 10% or even more if you're in growth mode, okay? So 10% of your revenue on marketing. So for example, if your goal is to do $5 million this year in revenue, then you should spend $500,000 on marketing. Now, I know that the margins in roofing are good. They can be really good, but they're not that good, all right? They're not quite that good. Would I spend $500,000 to get $5 million in revenue? Yeah, I maybe could, but I don't have to. So instead of that $500,000 on $5 million, as per our example, our clients on average would be spending about $200,000 of that $5 million, which represents 4% of their revenue. Now, I just had a meeting this morning with the owner of a roofing company that's been around for a couple of decades, and they're about a $7 to $8 million a year company. Very solid, very established, very profitable. And when I said our average client spends about 4% on marketing, he thought that was kind of low. They're spending considerably more than that, which is typical for a company that's been around a while, because if you've been around a while, a lot of times you're doing a lot of things that just, you've always done, right? Oh, we've always done the radio and the TV and the billboards and all these different things. And over the years, that stuff kind of just adds up and you don't realize it, but it creeps up, to that 10% or even higher mark, which we've seen with some roofing companies before. And this roofing company owner that I met with today was surprised at that 4%. I said, however, there is one asterisk there. There's a caveat there, and that is that you need to be spending time on your marketing as well as money. And that time is that creative, that content, those videos that are going out there in your market to get people to see you over and over and over again. So that's the time thing that, you can spend a little bit of money on that as well. And you should, to get your ads out there in front of a bunch of people. But you need to be spending that time on creating the content, on doing those videos, and doing some other things out there in your community. So it becomes 4% of revenue plus about 10 hours a week of time at a bare minimum, depending on the size of your company. So when you're doing this type of brand building content, so that might be offline where you have your trucks wrapped, you have your yard signs, you have your catch-all, you have your equipter, you're maybe doing door hangers, maybe some direct mail and things like that. And then you have your online component, you have your Google dialed in, you have your social media, you have your social media ads, you have your website. When you're doing all these things and you're getting your brand out there over and over and over again, you are becoming what we call 5 mile famous, where your company is becoming famous in a 5 mile radius. Now, you might be in a more rural area like Iowa or Kansas or whatever, so your mileage might be 25 mile radius, right? Your mileage may vary. It might be 5 miles, it might be 10 miles, it might be 25 miles. That's for you to choose, okay? But pick your radius, and your goal should be to get your name out there, get your content out there, get your brand out there consistently, constantly in that radius so that more people know about you and what you do. Now, if you're like, Joe, hey, I'm creating awesome content, we're just not getting enough eyeballs on it, we're not reaching enough people, well, that's where you need to get some money behind that content and run some social media ads on Facebook and Instagram to get that content out to literally tens of thousands of people in your market for as little as $10 a day. And it works really well. That's pretty much what all of our clients are doing. It's what we do as well. Now, when people know who you are and what you do, even if they don't need your services, they are still remembering you. You are still a top of mind company in your market because people are always in a position to recommend you, to refer you, to tag you in a local Facebook or Nextdoor group. You want to be that top of mind company that everyone thinks of when they hear of someone who might need a roof, or if they know of someone who needs a roof, or if they themselves need a roof. You want to be that top of mind company. So that brand building activity that we're doing every day, the offline stuff, the online stuff, the organic social media content, the social media ads, is a lot less expensive than going out there and buying leads or paying people to go knock doors all day or running expensive Google ads where you're paying hundreds of dollars per lead in some cases. When you do these brand building activities consistently, you build this machine to where people are coming to you, through your website, through your email, through your text messages, referrals. Like, you have this machine that generates these inbound inquiries and appointments and sales week after week after week. You're not going out and buying leads. You're not jacking up your ad spend on Google. You're not hiring an army of people to go bang doors all day. You have leads from people that have seen your content over and over and over again, and they want to work with you, not just any old roofing company in your market. So that's what I mean when I say that when you do brand building the right way, when you have that brand that people in your market know, like, and trust, then you're not going out there and buying customers. You're generating customers at a much lower cost per customer acquisition than the guy who's going out there and spending as much money as he can on Google and Facebook and all that stuff. Now, to take it a step further, when you're generating leads from people who know who you are, they've seen your content over and over and over again, that's such a warmer conversation than the property owner who reaches out to you through some random lead gen site who has no idea who you are, how long you've been around, how great you are, why you're different, what value you provide, why you're not going to be the cheapest quote that they get. So when you're generating those warm leads from people that know, like, and trust you, have seen you over and over again, that sales appointment, that conversation is going to be much warmer. You're going to close at a much higher rate. You're going to be able to close at a much higher profit margin because you're not getting beat up on price because they don't see you as just the cheap price guy. They see the value that you bring to the table. So you're not gonna have to lower your price or negotiate or anything like that. So you're having better appointments, you're closing at a higher percentage, you're making more profit, your sales reps are making higher commission, you're getting better customers, you're getting better referrals, you're getting reviews, you're working with good people, your production team is working with good clients, and that all snowballs into more positivity for your business. You're gonna be able to retain those sales reps longer because they're making money, they're doing well, they're meeting with customers, they're not butting heads with prospects, right? They're sitting down on the same side of the table as a prospect, having a conversation, doing business, and everyone's happy and everyone wins. And it all starts with your commitment to going out there in your market every single day and asking yourself, how can we get more people to know about us today that knew about us yesterday? How can we become more famous today in our market than we were yesterday? How do we become a 5-mile famous roofing company? How do we become the company that people think of when they know someone who needs a roof? That is your job every single day as a business owner, as a marketing manager, as a sales leader, as a general manager, as a leader of a roofing or contracting company. That is part of your job every single day. And when you do that, when you execute that part of your job every single day, you will build that flywheel, you will build that machine, you will build that brand that attracts like-minded, ideal prospective clients for your business at a much, much lower cost than if you were to go out there and buy leads, bang on doors, pay Google, and all that sort of stuff. All right? Now, one final thing to note on this, guys. I'm sorry to report, this is not something that is going to happen overnight. This is something that if you start today, sure, you're going to see some immediate results because you're going from doing nothing or doing kind of the bare minimum to doing something. But after 30, 60, 90 days, you're going to start to see the compound effect of that daily activity. And over time, you're going to get better results and more results in quantity and quality by doing less work because you're building a machine. It's like a snowball that rolls downhill. You've got to do some work at the beginning to form that snowball and kind of get it going. But once you give it a push and get it going, it just gets bigger and stronger and faster. It's the same thing with your marketing. All right. So I hope that this landed with someone. This is a mindset shift when it comes to business and specifically when it comes to marketing. It's no longer, how can I go find leads, or where do I find leads, or what digital marketing hack is working today? It's not that mindset. The mindset is, how can I wake up every single day and become more popular, more famous than we were yesterday? How can we get more people to know about us? How can we get our brand in front of as many people as possible every single day for as long as possible? Because people don't see one ad and decide to do business with you. They've got to see you 5, 10, 15, 20 times over and over and over again before they feel comfortable enough to give you their information. So that is the mindset shift that I would want you to make. If you have any specific questions about anything I went over or how to implement this consistently, drop a comment below. Reach out to me personally on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, on LinkedIn, Joseph Hughes. What I just shared with you guys is based on our experience, Contractor Dynamics, as a marketing training company over the past 10.5 years. We work every single week side by side with our clients who are roofing companies in North America of all shapes and sizes. We work with them every week to help them build out and run their own marketing. We train them on how to do their own marketing. So everything I just went through today in this video is based on our team being in the trenches every single day with exactly what I was just talking about. This is the stuff that is working. You want to know what's working today to market and grow a roofing company? This is it right here. It's not the fancy funnel. There's no hack. There's no trick. There's no overnight success. It's about showing up every day and doing the fundamentals, all right? So if you guys have any questions about that, any specific questions, or if you want to know what it looks like to work with Contractor Dynamics inside our marketing training program, head on over to our website, contractordynamics.com, hit the blue button in the top right of our website, set up a time to talk with myself or Elizabeth, someone else here on our team, give you some clarity about your marketing and help you take the next steps to crushing it with brand building and marketing, becoming 5-mile famous, and all that fun stuff. Either way, hope you're having a great day. Continue to crush the day. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.